Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a tutorial for a main melody section in a Makina track. We're going to cover the build up and then we're going to do the main melody section. So we're going to have a layered melody, we're going to have the bass and the stab, we're going to have the kick. I'll show you how to lay your drums out, I'll show you how to work with the midis, and I'll show you how to use the VSTs and the samples. All the sounds that we're going to be using in this tutorial today are available on our website, rewiredrecords.co.uk, so if you want you can grab them and follow along, or you can just use your own sounds and presets. So we'll have a quick look at the finished result of what we're going to be making and then we'll get straight on with it. So if you load up a new project, we're going to go straight to the mixer track on the master channel and we're going to turn off the fruity limiter. Then we're going to set our project tempo to whatever we want it to be. I'm going to go for 170 this time, but you could go for 160, 175, just depends how fast you like it to be. Then I'm going to load up Silent 1 and I'm going to open the JSP sound bank that's available on our website. I'm just going to drag it straight onto Silent and that'll open the bank up for us, and then we've got all these sounds to play with. So now I'm going to have a flick through the DMB MIDI pack and find a melody that I want to use. Now I'm going to right click and clone the VST, so I've got a second copy because I want to make a second layer for the melody. I've just copied and pasted the top notes of the melody for this second layer. I'm not using the bass notes at the bottom, only the top ones for this layer. Now I'm going to have a look through the JSP Makina Kicks Volume 1 pack and I'm going to find a nice punchy kick that I think fits with the style of this track. Now I've found a kick that I like, so I'm going to drag that straight onto the step sequencer. I'm going to rename this pattern Melody so that I can find it later when I want to go back to it. And now I'm going to make another copy of the Silent VST, and this one I'm going to use for the bass line. So I'm going to have a look through the bass presets and find something that I like. So to get the bass line, we're going to need to copy these bottom notes from the MIDI and paste them onto our VST. I'm just going to turn the retrigger feature on for each of Silent's oscillators in part A and B, so that way we're going to get every note coming out of it is going to be identical instead of phasing. Jason P Makina Tools Volume 1 pack, and I'm going to find a stab to layer over the top of my bass. So that's going to make the bass sound a lot fatter. So I'm just going to drag that straight onto the step sequencer. And then we turn the attack down and then the release down, but just leave a little bit of release on so it's got that bit of a bounce at the end. It doesn't just stop abruptly. I'm putting a parametric EQ2 onto the stab so I can cut off some of the low end because we don't want bass on there because we've already got our own bass. So if we cut this low end off the stab, that's going to leave room for our bass to slot in and then it'll gel together like one sound. I've just made a second layer of the stab with a different sound, and this has got the same parametric EQ settings on, so there's no bass on that either. So now we've got the two stabs and our bass working together to create the bass line. I'm going to start laying these patterns out onto our song playlist now so that we can start building the track. Now I'm going to add the kick, so I'm going to right click on the kick and go fill each 4 steps, and then I'm going to send that to the piano roll. Now I can press Ctrl A to select them all, and then I'm going to drag them in so they're exactly half a beat long. And just like we did for our stab, we need to go into the INS settings and we need to turn the attack all the way down, and this time we're going to turn the release all the way down because we do want this to stop straight away as soon as the note stops. I'm going to go on the kicks mixer track and I'm going to put the fruity compressor on the drums setting to make it nice and loud. I'm going to turn the stereo separation knob to 100% merged, so that's going to make it mono, which will make the left and right speakers identical. I'm just applying a little bit of EQ to the kick to cut off the really low lows and just boost the bass a little bit. Now I'm going to add in some crash cymbals at the start of each bar and in the fills. I'm just using an EQ again to cut off the lows of the hi-hats so there's no bass or any nasty sounds that we don't want on there. I'm going to find some open hi-hats now. These are going to go in between the kick and they're going to add some pace and a bit of bounce to the track. And just like the crash, I'm going to add an EQ and I'm going to cut off the low end that we don't need, just to clean it up. I'm just going to add a 4-beat gap at the end of each bar, so the kick just comes away for 4 beats, and there's a little drop before it kicks back in again. I'm going to find some snares now, and we're going to make a snare roll. That's going to add some energy and tension to your track, and then it lets people know that something's about to happen, because it's going to build up to something. And again, we're going to do the INS properties with the attack down and the release down, and then we're going to do parametric EQ2 again, and we're going to cut off all the lows that we don't want. I'm going to hit Ctrl A to select everything, and then I'm going to move it along so we've got space for a bit of a build up at the start. Then I'm going to use the select tool to highlight the build up section along the top black bar of the timeline. And then if we go on the snare pattern, we can right click the volume and click create automation clip, and then that's going to give us this envelope here. If we right click, we can put an extra point, and then I'm going to drag that down to the bottom, so the volume's going to start off low, and then as the track plays it's going to get louder and louder. And then I've made another couple of points at the end so it can dip back down just for the fill, and then rise up again just as it kicks in. I'm going to click on my main bass that I've just painted back down, and then I'm going to click make unique. That's going to give me an extra copy of it in the step sequencer, so now I can mess around with it and it won't affect the original pattern. So in here I'm going to take both the stabs out, and I'm just going to leave the low bass sound. And then I'm going to copy and paste these notes an octave below by pressing Ctrl and C to drop it down an octave. And then I'm going to move them to the left where the kick would usually be, so now they go up and down between the octaves. Just to show you another way of doing your bass, you don't have to use a VST like Silent, you can use samples like we've got in this Jason P pack. So I'll show you how to do it the sample way. I'm just going to copy the bass notes that we've already got and just put them onto the bass sample now that I've just dragged in. I'm just going to do the INS settings the same way that we did the stab, just the attack down and then the release most of the way down, just to leave a little bit on. So this sound I'm going to cut off some of the high end this time because I can hear it's a bit fuzzy, so I'm going to clean it up just by taking off that fuzz and just leaving the bass. Now I'm just going to add a couple of effects samples onto the build up, like a down sweep and a riser. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you've learnt something. Let me know in the comments if you want me to explain anything further, or let me know what you want me to do in the next tutorial. We can either carry on with this track and keep building it, or we could do something completely different. Just let me know what you want to learn. And if you need any of these samples, you can go on our website, rewiredrecords.co.uk. You can grab all of the sample packs and the sound banks. Most of them are only 20 to 30 quid. So it's worth investing as it saves you a lot of time having to look for your own sounds or make them from scratch. Don't forget you can join our free music production group. Just search for Rewired Records Music Production Group on Facebook, where we're going to be putting tips and tutorials like this in there regularly, and we're going to be helping you out if you need any feedback or advice. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll check out the comments and see what you guys want to learn next, and then I'll be back really soon with some more tutorials. See you soon, guys.